is Azal Al-Salafi.
Giving me the opportunity to brief the Council on behalf of the Peace Track Initiative and Women Solidarity Network, which includes more than 350 Yemeni women leaders inside and outside Yemen. Yemen continues to ravage in a devastating war for 8 years now, which disproportionately affect women, girls, and marginalized groups, contributing to increased sexual and gender-based violence. The UN-led truce has restored hope in the hearts of Yemeni people. Yet much is needed to be done to uphold the ceasefire and eventually reach a just and lasting peace. While cross-border military operations have halted, we still receive reports of indiscriminate targeting of people inside Yemen, especially in Taiz, Hajjah, Ma'rib, and Hodeidah. We are also concerned about reported escalation preparations, including sending reinforcements to battlefronts, continued landmine planting, and digging up new trenches. On a positive note, we celebrated the reopening of Sana'a Airport, which allowed many of our friends and families to reunite with their loved ones after years of separation. The airport is a lifeline for many civilians in Sana'a who are fragile and unable to endure the long and risky journey by road. But we want free mobility to continue not only by opening ports and airports, but also we demand all roads inside the country, especially Taiz, which is one of the most populated areas in the country, to be opened immediately. We continue to document cases of aid relief convoys tipping over and people losing their lives, including pregnant women seeking medical services because of this siege. To this end, we welcome the international recognized government acceptance of the UN envoy's proposal for opening 5 roads, and we call the Houthis to reciprocate and accept his proposal. We hope it will be the first step to opening all roads in the country, leading to unrestricted and affordable mobility. Although the city of Aden is serving as the internationally recognized capital for Yemen, the people in Aden are still suffering. The Yemeni rial used in Aden is extremely devalued compared to that used in Sana'a due to the inconsistent economic policies and lack of coordination between the 2 central banks. Additionally, Aden suffers from poor basic services, infrastructure, such as electricity, water and sanitation, communication and internet access, and transportation, impacting the ability to stabilize the city and requires urgent support. Yemenis abroad also face challenges as they seek refuge and safety in other countries. Yemeni women, human rights defenders, and vulnerable groups who relocated outside Yemen to escape arbitrary detention and life-threatening situations successfully registered as refugees, yet have been waiting for years for resettlement opportunities. They are also unable to move on in their lives, and many of them are not allowed to work. This has aggravated their trauma, which led to them having suicidal thoughts. The participation of women in the peace and political process remains limited and way below the 30% quota we had committed to as a nation in 2014. The UN envoy's peace consultations had progress in terms of including women in the political parties' delegations. However, the committees formed as a result of the peace process still have no women among its members, such as the committees on prisoners exchange, military and security, and Taiz committee. Similarly, the GCC intra-Yemeni talks also made progress in women's participation in the different tracks. However, the security and anti-terrorism track had no women at all. While the entities formed as a result of the GCC intra-Yemeni talks had made progress in inclusion of women, particularly in the appointment of women in the National Reconciliation and Consultation Commission and the legal and economic teams supporting the Presidential Leadership Council. This progress must be supported by the International Committee, to ensure the increase of women's participation in all states' entities during peace and political process by no less than 30%, including in any upcoming government reshuffle. Last year, in June, we launched the Feminist Peace Roadmap that was developed with women leaders in participatory manner in consultations with local communities in Yemen. This is an expert document that was collectively envisioned by hundreds of Yemenis from all walks of life. In fact, we want to thank the Council for taking into account our recommendations and reflecting them in the UN Security Council resolution adopted last February on inclusion and multi-track design, which was eventually materialized in the design of the UN-led recent peace consultations and in the outcomes of the GCC intra-Yemeni talks. We hope that our recommendations will continue to have a positive impact, and in conclusion, we hope the Council will continue to support the truce with the view to transform it into a sustainable nationwide ceasefire with a clear mechanism of implementation that is monitored. Support the opening of all Yemeni entry ports and airports, allowing civilian travel and commercial use and encouraging more flight services to operate. Support the opening of all roads inside the country, lifting checkpoints and clearing landmines starting with Taiz. Also restrict the flow of arms into the country and support the removal of military camps and depots from highly populated cities. Urge the donor community to commit and fulfill their humanitarian, development, and reconstruction pledges to Yemen, ensuring sustainable solutions that empower Yemenis and focus on stabilizing basic services, dispersing salaries, and strengthening infrastructure. Support the establishment and funding of a sexual and gender-based violence survivors fund without delay, as per recommendations of the panel of experts on the Sanction Committee. Support the Feminist Peace Roadmap by considering it as a reference to the peace process and continue to call for inclusive peace talks, ensuring women's, youth's, and civil society participation, including in peace implementation committees. Finally, support the UN envoy to create a permanent position of a gender advisor, ensuring the appointment of qualified experts with strong feminist values. Thank you.